Hello and welcome to the Spiritual Psychotherapy Podcast. My name is Jennifer Sneeden, and I am delighted that you have joined me for this episode where we talk about manifestation. Manifestation is this big, sort of nebulous idea that we all strive for, but it can be so dang frustrating for people. Why am I not getting what I want? I'm writing affirmations, I'm speaking affirmations, and yet that thing I want just is not coming into my life. So today I'm going to break down why that happens, how to fix it, and the very important role that spiritual psychotherapy plays in this journey. So let's go. This manifestation process is one, it comes in large part from the teachings of Abraham Hicks. I am a very big fan of the work of Abraham Hicks, and it's sort of evolved through my own life experience and tweaked to apply in a psychotherapy setting because the principles of Abraham Hicks are truly divinely inspired and genius. And then we need to find a way to take those teachings, turn them into usable, practical strategies for the psychotherapy room. And that's what we're doing today in talking about manifestation. So, the manifestation process that I'm going to talk about today is 7 steps. And it's important to understand each of these steps because you need to understand where things are going awry. And if you can figure out where in this process things are going awry for you, you can fix it. And now you're up and running and you're moving on to the next step and you're manifesting things like crazy. Because once you get this process down, it's truly remarkable how quickly things can manifest into your life. So, the first step in the manifestation process is deciding what we don't want. Now, the good news is this happens automatically, right? We are stuck in traffic and we don't want to deal with bad traffic. Our partner is drunk again and we don't want a drunk partner. Our clients aren't showing up for session and we want them to show up for session, right? It's very easy to let your life experience show you what it is that you don't want. Now, for some people, that comes at a very early age with the teachings that they get as a young child. It can be early traumatic experiences. It can be early beliefs that are taught to a child. It can be the experiences that they have being bullied in middle school or with a parent that's abusive, right? All of these things set the stage for what people don't want. And when it's set at a very early age, it's a very firm foundation of what they don't want in life. So, in this first step, there's really nothing that you have to do. You get this from the world around you, you get this from life experience, and it becomes very deeply embedded in your subconscious mind what it is that you don't want. Which leads us then into step two, which is when you understand what you don't want, you automatically know what you do want. Some people refer to this as goal setting. I'm not a huge fan of goal setting, but we can talk about that in another episode. But Neville has this great quote. I don't remember which book it's from, but he said, "You don't have to tell a man in prison to want freedom. A man in prison just wants to be free," right? It's just that simple. When we have been mistreated by somebody, we don't have to say, "I want to be better treated by somebody," right? It's just automatic. It's natural and automatic that we would want that. So this step, where this gets really tricky in step two, is we know what we want, but we're coming at it from a very negative emotion. We're coming at what we want from fear or desperation or a powerlessness, or even worry and doubt, or feeling disappointed. I did not um, work out 5 times last week, and I promised myself I would, and I never do what I promise. And here I go again with letting myself down. So this week I'm going to do 5 workouts a week, right? That's coming from a very negative energy, the energy of disappointment. So we hold these desires. We don't need to remind ourselves of these desires. We certainly don't need to remind source energy or our higher selves about these desires. They're there, they're done. That part is over with. The desire is already heard, and the seed is already planted. But we get stuck here because we're coming at that from a place of not having it. And when we're coming at it from a negative emotion, we cannot manifest that thing into our life. Why? As Bob Proctor would say, we're not a vibrational match to it. Bob Proctor talks a lot about the law of vibration and vibrational frequencies, and that everything is in a constant state of motion. We can't see it, right? But everything around us is a little ball of energy operating at a different vibrational wavelength, including our bodies and our thoughts. And you guys can feel this. When somebody walks into the room, you know their energy. They don't even have to say a word, and you can feel their energy. We emit an energy, and the only things that we're a match for are things that match or line up with our energy. So when we're emitting an energy of desperation or fear or powerlessness or disappointment, the only things that are a match for us are things that are disappointing, things that scare us, things that make us feel powerless, things that make us worry. That's all we can allow into our experience. And I believe this is where most people get stuck, and why they don't manifest the things that they really want in their lives, because they don't understand this idea of vibration. So when we're saying, I really want a boyfriend, but who's going to be attracted to me? I've got 6 kids and I'm a single mother, and nobody's ever going to want to deal with that. You're not going to get that manifestation that you're looking for, right? So, as therapists practicing spiritual psychotherapy, our job, first and foremost, is to teach our clients to be aware of their vibration and their emotional state so that they can see you cannot land your perfect job when you're disappointed and complaining about your current job. It just doesn't work, because the vibration of disappointment and the vibration of complaining are at the same frequency as your current job, and the job you want is at the vibration of happiness and joy and freedom. So you've got to first find that vibration. So this piece, step 2, it is part of the process. So do not beat yourself up for being here. This is just a natural progression. You know what you want, but you're not lined up with it yet. You're not a vibrational match for it. That's okay. It is part of the process, but you've got to recognize when you're there. And this is why spiritual psychotherapy can make such a profound impact on people, because sometimes you can't recognize when you're there. But as therapists, we can help people raise their vibration to where they are a match for what it is that they want. When our clients don't know anything about vibration or managing their emotional state or changing their emotional state, they rely on us as therapists to help them discover that. So as you can help a client move into an emotion that is a vibrational match for what they want, now we're leaded? I don't think so. Led into step 3 of the manifestation process, which is we're lined up with the desire, what Bob Proctor would call a vibrational match, right? And when we are a vibrational match for something, that thing must come to us. We must attract different things into our lives. There is no other option. It just has to happen. So step 4 then is we're vibrating at the same frequency as our desire. we're feeling good, we're excited about the new job, or we're eager for the new partner, or we're certain that the money is coming, whatever it is, we're lined up with it and we feel that certainty. And what's really interesting about, where are we? Step 4 is the desire that we have, it's not quite as exciting anymore. So in the beginning, in step 2, when we're not a match for our desire, that desire doesn't feel good to think about because it feels so far away and it doesn't feel like a possibility. And it feels awful when we think about it. But in step 3, as we start to line up with our desire, now it energizes us. We feel really, really good. But as we move into step 4, where we're vibrating at the frequency of our desire, it doesn't feel quite as exciting because it's like, oh, yeah, it's coming, no big deal. And not that it's a bad emotion, it's just like you've come to expect it. It feels automatic, it feels like it must be. And so there's a little bit less excitement about it, but a lot more certainty. Then we move into step 5, where we're a vibrational match with our frequency. And now we're ready to receive inspired action from universal intelligence. So we get these little snippets of, hey, go make this video, or go to this restaurant for lunch, or pick up the phone and call this old friend, not knowing where they lead us. They just come into our brains like this. A friend of mine calls them divine downloads, right? We just get this idea and it feels simple and easy. It's always going to feel like the next logical step. It's never going to feel like a big deal because you're lined up with it. It's not this big breakthrough moment. It's like, oh, let me just call this person, or let me reach out here. And things sort of spiral into motion. Then step 6 is that we start to see little signs of our desire manifesting. So they're like, in the beginning, they feel like a fluke or a coincidence or a chance. Like, okay, so I got a new client, but I don't know. That's, it could just be a chance. Or I had a good date with this guy, but I don't know if it's really going to go anywhere, right? So we have these little signs of our desire manifesting, but we haven't put the pieces together yet. We don't really see it happening. And then just one day we wake up and we realize, oh, that thing I really wanted for so long, it's in my life. And generally, we don't even really recognize it when it happens because it seems so commonplace, just seems so automatic. And it's not until a day or a week, or I've even had it where months later, I realize, oh my gosh, that thing that I wanted for so long, here it is in my life. And I didn't even notice that it was here. Pardon me, because the manifestation of it is so logical at that point. It's so effortless at that point. It's so automatic at that point that it really does feel like no big deal. And the reason for that is because you are that vibrational match. And when you are that vibrational match, it's not a stretch anymore. It's just, oh, yeah, okay, that's coming. So this is the manifestation process that I think is very easy to grasp and can help people who have experienced trauma, who have been really sort of beaten down by life, understand why their lives are not getting better. This manifestation process is easily followable and can easily move people to the place where they are ready to move into the more positive feeling emotions and manifest something different in their lives. And the power of being able to move people through this process so they can see what's possible for themselves. Oh my gosh, it is just the best feeling place in the world. So have fun with this. Think about where you are with your desires. Are you a vibrational match for them? And if not yet, get the help that you need to move into that state, because once you become a vibrational match, the rest of it is effortless. For those of you who feel like you don't manifest or you can't manifest, look at, are you a vibrational match? If the answer is no, you're stuck at step 2, you're in a negative place relative to what you want. I urge you to get the help that you need, because moving from step 2 to step 3 is the hard part. The rest of it, it all just flows so beautifully. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you in the next episode.